All right, for this lesson, we're going to create the landing page in Kajabi. So what you want to do is go to your Kajabi dashboard. We're going to go to websites and click on landing pages. That should send you to this page right here where it says pages. And then you could click new landing page up here on the top right. So go ahead and click new landing page. And once you land on this page, on the next page, it's going to give you a lot of templates that you could use. A lot of these will be pre-made, so that way you could just upload your own images, upload your own copy. So here's like one example. The most common one that I would probably use is this one right here. But we're going to go start from scratch. So we're going to build a blank. We're going to start with a blank page. Next, click get started. And for the title, what you want to do is write the name of the product you are making. For this example, we're going to use one of the products that I have, Niche Ideas. And so I'm going to name the title of this page after the product that I'm creating it for. So go ahead and write the title to your product right here. That way, whenever you want to make changes to your landing page, it'll be so much easier to figure out which landing page is for what because it's named after the product. Click create. And now it's going to send you to the landing page where you could actually, or the builder, the landing page builder right here. Okay. All right. So now that this builder is ready, all you have is a headline and an image. What I like to do is click on the hero section and then drag this box above. So that way I have my image on top and then my text on the bottom. Or if you click on the image itself, you could reduce the size of the image to 5 columns, let's say 4 columns. And now you can see the text is on the side of the image. If you wanted to rotate this, let's say the text to the left side, let's go back. We'll drag the text to the top. And now it's on the left side. That way you could have an image on the right side and then your text on the left. But for this example, I'm going to put the image on the top. I'm going to click back in and I'm going to make this full width 12 columns. So now it expands all the way from side to side, but there's still some spacing. So what I want to do is go back. I'm going to go to the desktop layout for this particular section. And now I'm going to scroll down and make this section full width. Now it stretches out from side to side. And I'm also going to make it full height. So there you go. So now it takes up all the space, but there's still spacing up here. We're going to fix that later on. Once we build all the sections, we'll go ahead and change the spacing on all the sections. Okay, so now that we have that set up, let's go click back into either this image or click the section right here. All right, once you go to the image, we're going to select the image and we're going to upload a new file. If you don't have any files uploaded yet, just go ahead and upload a file from your device or one of these other options. Since I already do have files uploaded, I'm going to click select recent file and I'm gonna use the same image. I already have this product created, so I'm gonna just reuse the image I have. All right, so there you go. The image is loaded up and it looks pretty good to me. So the next part, we're gonna want to change the headline. So let's go down to the headline and you can see you could change the width on this as well. So you could once again make it more narrow, smaller, or you could stretch it all the way out. I'm gonna go with 12 columns for this section. And this text, I'm going to remove this text and then I'm going to paste in my copy description. And what basically you're going to put right here is the headline for your product and the subheadline for your product. So I'll go ahead and copy my text and paste it over to this text box right here. And now you can see it paste over to the actual page. I think it looks good. So I might make this text a little bit bigger. Heading 1. There you go. This will be your only H1 heading right here. The rest of them will be H3s, or at least that's what I recommend. You could do whatever you want, but H3s for the rest of them is what I recommend. So another thing I like to do, so I'll highlight this word, niche. I'm gonna make it blue. And then also niche ideas. I like to do this because it kind of points out exactly what they're gonna get and what I'm talking about. So for this particular product, it's very specific to niches. And what it is, they're gonna get are niche ideas. So I highlight those words. So now that we got the hero section complete, we're gonna go back one more time, and now you're here at all the sections. So right now we only have a hero section, which consists of the image and the text, but we want to add more sections, and this section is going to go below the hero section. So for that section, we're going to create some text, and this shows up right here, a little preview. Yes, that's what I want, so I'm going to click add. Okay, you can see there's a lot of spacing, but once again, I said we're going to fix that spacing towards the end. So we got this copy right here. We're going to delete this copy, and we're going to add, you're going to add your own copy description for your product. So I'll copy and paste the description I already have for this product. I'm going to paste it in right there. And there you go. Let me make sure there's no spacing. Okay. I want some spacing right here. So what I'm going to do, I could either come right here or space it from this section right there. But I prefer not to do it right here. For some reason, when I click enter to give it an extra line of space, the text shrinks. So I have to adjust the heading again. Heading 3. So I'd rather just do it from right here on the text editor on the left side. Click some space, some space. There you go. Add some more space right here. All right, so now we could review, kind of look at the spacing. It looks good to me. The text looks good. Everything looks good. There's a little extra space right here for some reason. Let's change that back to H3. Click save. You always want to save. Every time you make some changes, go ahead and save it. That way, if anything happens, you don't lose your progress. So this was the second part of the landing page. You got your hero image or your hero section. And then you got your description for the product. Now the last part is we want to add a form right here at the bottom. Since this is for a lead magnet, we want them to sign up to get this product. Now let's add one more section. This section, we're going to scroll down a little bit till we find the forms right here. And you have two options. You could click each one to get a preview of what it looks like. It's going to look the same right now. Well, mostly the same. You can see this one's wider than the other form. And basically this opt-in form is going to have the email field right here in the center and then the call to action button just below it. And this one will have the email sign up form and then the CTA button on the right side of it. It's almost the same thing. It's just a little bit different. But we'll go with the inline form. Doesn't matter which one you choose, they both work the same. So now that we got our form, now we're going to have to create a form. So as far as creating the landing page, this is done. We're going to now change the spacing. So now we're going to go back to the very top to the hero section, to desktop layout. And what I like to do is usually go 40 all around, but you're still going to have a lot of space up here. So we're going to switch that to 10. There you go. And then we're going to switch this to 20. And I can see I have some extra space right here. So I'm going to remove that. Backspace. Now it takes away that extra space. That spacing looks good. Let's go to the next section and do the same thing. We're going to go to the desktop layout. Open that up. And now in the desktop section padding, in case I didn't say that earlier, we're going to go with 20. and 20. So the spacing right here looks good. I like how the spacing is between that. There's a lot of spacing right here. So let's go to the next section. And we're going to put that at, say, 20. That's kind of close. We're going to go with 40. So there we go. We got 40 spacing and then 40 spacing. That way it got plenty of padding on the bottom and plenty of padding between the form and the description. And now we're going to click save. So now that our landing page is done, the next thing we want to do is work on the form. So we're going to click on the inline opt-in form, click on the form right here. And now we could either select the form, but if this is a brand new product, you most likely don't have a form yet. So we're going to click edit your forms to open a brand new form. All right, so for this lesson, we're going to create the form for this landing page. So let's click on edit your forms. All right, let's click that. And you can see it opens a brand new window. And this is going to show a list of all the forms you've created. And what you want to do is create a brand new form with the button up top, right here on the right side. So now for this form, you want to give a title for this form. It's going to be pretty much the same thing. You want to name it after the product you're creating. Ideas. But since I already created this product, I'm going to write sample or example. Since this is for the video, I'm going to go ahead and write the name of my product. And normally I wouldn't write example, but just for the sake of this video, I am. Go ahead and click save. And now you have a new form. But you want to edit the settings for this form. So you can see the title for this form. And now you have two opt-in settings. You could either go with double opt-in or single opt-in. We're going to go with single. Preferably, it's going to be best if you go with double, because whenever people put in the wrong email address, you're going to get a bad email on your email list. Or when bots, I don't know how bots do this, but somehow they ruin people's email list by spamming these things. So this helps you to get a much cleaner list, which improves your open rates and your click rates. But that also adds some friction. So a lot less people will actually confirm, because what's going to happen is they're going to get an email, and then inside of that email, they have to click a button to confirm their subscription. A lot of people won't click that subscription confirmation. So that's why I go with single opt-in. That way, once they put their email address, it sends them directly, or it directly sends them a link to whatever email I sent them. But I'm going to go with single opt-in because once people sign up in the form, they're going to automatically be added to the email list, and then they're going to receive the email with the link to the product. It's a lot easier, but it all depends on you. I'm going to go with single opt-in for this example. The next section is the form fields. So when people are signing up for your lead magnet, these are the two fields they're going to have to complete in order to submit their form. You could add extra fields if you want to, like addresses, countries, number, state, and then you could create some custom fields right here as well. So you could create a new field. But for lead magnets, I recommend only asking for the email address. And the reason for that is because the more fields you add into the form, it's like adding friction to the sign up process. And more friction is just going to reduce your conversion rates. Less people are going to fill out the form simply because you're asking for too much. So when creating lead magnet forms, I suggest just using the email field. We'll delete this one and just use the email field. And now for the next part is the automations. So this is the part where you're automating the backend system for your business. Basically, we already created the landing page. They're going to go to the landing page, fill out the form, and when they fill out the form, we want some stuff to happen. So right here, we'll click add automation, and we're going to say or specify what we want to happen. So right here gives you a little breakdown. So when the form is submitted for this product, then I want one of these things to happen. So Kajabi gives you a bunch of different options for your automations of what can happen. For this example, we're going to tag every one of the leads that subscribe to this form. And the reason you want to tag them is because everyone that gets this product, you want to tag them with, say, the name of the product. That way you know who bought this product. And this helps you a lot in your email marketing because later on, when you want to segment your audience and speak directly to a very segmented part of your email list, these tags will help you group up the people based off the products they've bought or other things that they've done. So for this example, we're going to add a tag. And what you want to do is create the name of the tag. So example. Usually I'm going to write the name of the product itself. And since I already have this tag created, I'm going to show you the one I have. So this is a lead magnet, 75 niche ideas. This is the tag they're going to get. If you don't have a tag yet, you're just going to go ahead and create it and then just use that tag. Once you create that tag, click save. And there you go. Now on the automations table, you could see that you have one automation that will happen when people submit the form. So when the form is submitted for this form right here, then you add a tag, and this is the tag that'll be added. Now for the next part, we're going to do the email. So we're going to add another automation because we want to send them the link to the product. Or if you're giving them a download file, then link the product itself so they can download it, whatever it might be. So for this example, once again, the automation, when this form is submitted for this product, then we're going to go down to send an email. We want to send them an email. And when you make that choice, it opens this little extra options up. So you could choose to send this to a person, which is by default the person who fills out the form, or you could send the email to your team or to yourself. So we're going to have it to the default option where it sends the email to the person that signed up for the form. Now the next part we're going to do is the subject line. So we're going to delete that subject line and create our own subject line. And you want to write something that kind of reminds your leads of what they signed up for. That way they could open the email and they know what they're supposed to be getting. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste the subject line I already pre-created. And I'm going to just paste it right here. That's the subject line they're going to see inside of their inbox right before they open their email. Now the actual email contents, they have a default. Kajabi creates a little default message which you're not going to use and you don't want to use. So now we could add the contents of the email. So let me go ahead and copy over the contents that I have created. Now I'm going to paste it. And here we go. Here's the contents for my email. I already have the link on this word, but I'm going to show you how to fix that. So for right now, I kind of want to double check my copy, make sure it's right. If everything looks good, maybe do a little bit of spacing for this. Hope this helps. A motto, this should be on the next line. Quick tips. Now for this one, what you want to do is you could either embed a link onto some text or create a button. So what I want to do, let's see. I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to show you what this looks like right now. So we're going to preview in browser. So now we can see how this would look inside the email, which is really plain, is just a bunch of text. And then they could click this link to get the product. But let's say you don't have the link yet. We're going to say access link. We're going to highlight this text and click insert edit link. This is where you embed the URL and then you click OK once you're done. So whatever link you're going to share with them, you could embed it right here. Click OK. and then it'll look this like this right here. We're gonna go ahead and move this to the bottom. Remove some spacing. If you wanted to, you could highlight this and turn it into a button instead. So insert edit button. So we got the link right here. The text is going to be displayed, and we could change the color of the text button. So let's say we're going to use my branding blue. Click OK. And now it looks kind of weird, right? But when you go to preview in the browser, you can see the button looks natural and it looks a lot cleaner. I think it looks a lot better than having some word with the hyperlink on it. So we're going to go with this button right here. Now the next thing, what I like to do is add a banner image, basically reminding them who they got this product from. So I'm going to add my branding image. So now we got my image on top. Remove that spacing. So this kind of reminds them the brand that they got the email from. And then what you want to do is go to the bottom. Actually, you don't have to do these extra steps of adding images. It's just something I prefer to do. So I also like to put an image of the product kind of to remind them of what they signed up for. That way they know what's inside this email. Okay, so I uploaded the image. Now that the images are in, let's preview it one more time. Okay, so this is the email. It's got my brand banner right here. We scroll down and you can see the image of the product they're signing up or they already signed up for. And if you wanted to, you could actually add an embedded link into the image. So when they click the image, it'll send them to the link as well, to the URL. Now, the next thing you want to do is test this button. And you can see that it sends us straight to the URL that I linked them to. So there we go. That link works. We'll go back to the email. Now, the next thing you want to do before you click save and close this out, we're going to test this email. So go ahead and send a test email. We're going to send a test email to yourself. So click send preview. It's going to turn green, letting you know that you sent it, and also another notification on the right side. Now, for right now, let's click save. That way you don't lose all your progress. And then go look for the email in your inbox. And what you want to do is double check that it does look good, how you want it to look, and that the link works with inside of the email. Okay, so here goes the email. So it pretty much looks just the way I want it, except I'm noticing the text is really small. It's still readable, but I prefer to make it a little bit bigger to make it easier to read. So that's one thing I want to edit. I'm going to make the font a little bit bigger. And then we want to test the button again from the email. There we go. It sends me straight to the product, so the link works. Now we're going to delete this message and go test it again. All right, so let's go back to send an email. We're going to click edit. We're going to edit this email. And what I wanted to do was change the size of all the text. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight everything. Change the font sizes from 11 to 14. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and send one more test email to confirm that it looks just the way we want it to. So let's send another test email. All right, so here goes the email. The text is a lot bigger. I think it looks a lot better, and this is exactly how I want my email to be sent out. Now, the last thing I would do before closing off the email section is to check this in dark mode and to check it in light mode. Well, it's already in light mode, but to check both modes. You want to make sure it looks good in dark mode and make sure it looks good in mobile. So before I delete this email, I'm going to open up my phone and then I'm going to check the email on my phone and make sure it looks good right there. And once everything looks good, I'm happy with the results. Then I can go ahead and come back to this page, click save, and there we go. We got our 2 automations. So when the form is submitted, this form right here, we're going to send them the email, and we're also going to add a tag. So that's our 2 automations that are happening in the back end every time people fill out that form. Now let's go to the top right, click save, and now this is complete. So now you have the form completed, and you also have the email complete, the delivery email. The last part is to go back to the landing page and finish off the form right there. Okay, so now let's close this window, and we're gonna go back to the landing page. So if you look on the forms, the form that we just created, the example form, is not gonna show up. The reason is you need to refresh this a little bit. So we'll just click another section. Then we'll go back to the form section. Click in the form. And now the form should pop up. So here it goes, example. We'll select the form we just created. And you can see the form just changed a little bit. So now we got the email form, the email field, and the submission button. So let's go ahead and start changing or customizing the form right here. So we're going to click the text, and I'm going to delete this and add the text or the copy that I already created for my form. Okay, so now I'm going to copy and paste my copy right here. There we go. And now it pops up just where I would need it to be at the and on the form itself. So now I'm going to shift this alignment. Actually, I could just click it right here and shift it to the left. And then I'm gonna make this font a little bit bigger. Instead of an H3, I'll go ahead and make it H2. Get your free list of niche ideas. Now let's go customize. The next part is the disclaimer text. So we'll go ahead and copy and paste the disclaimer text I already have pre-written. Okay, that looks good. We're gonna click save to save our progress. We don't want to lose this progress. So the next thing, we're gonna change this button. We're gonna customize it just a little bit. So let's scroll down some more. We're gonna click on button. And then we're gonna change the text to get free list. And you could write anything you want. Just keep it simple. Honestly, keep it simple and keep it short. And if you don't know what to write, just leave it at submit. Just keep it simple and understandable. Now for the button, it is blue, but I have a different brand of blue. So we're gonna change the blue. And there you go, the blue changes. And now I'm done with customizing this button, but you could make a few more customizations to it if you want. We're gonna close that. And now let's customize the form itself. So let's go to the background, and we're gonna change the background on this form. Since it's pretty much a completely white page, we're gonna just add a little bit of color and change the form color to say black. Just keep it basic. For my brand, I just use black, white, and blue, and some occasionally I use some orange. So for me, this works. Go ahead and put whatever branding color you like. I'm gonna save my progress. Now the last thing is I could change the size of this block too, the form, so I could make it wider, which I don't like. We could make it smaller, which I don't really like. The 7, 8, I think I'm gonna leave it at the 10. So I'll leave it as it was. I just wanted to show you that you could change the sizing of the block. So this is all saved. The last thing is once people submit this form, the way it is, they'll put their email, they're going to click get free list, the CTA button, and they're just going to remain on this page. So it's going to look like they didn't do nothing. So that's where we got to do the thank you page on the left side. So right here, in case you're lost, we're still on the form. We're going to go to the form. It says thank you page right there. And now you got to choose where you're going to send them to. So you got a few options. You could send them to a landing page that you created inside of Kajabi, or you could send them to a checkout page. You could have them download a file. You could have them go to a different web page that's not in Kajabi. So you could link the URL right there, or you could open a modal. I don't know how this works. I don't use it. All I always use is either a landing page or a URL. So I'm gonna go with URL. We're gonna put the link to the product itself. So once they submit the form, it's gonna send them straight to the product that I'm linking them to. So let me add the link right here. And now the entire page is done. The entire landing page is done. The hero section, the description, and the form, your three key components. So we created the form and we set up the thank you page. So this one's really easy. You could just link whatever product you're sending them to or whatever product you're giving them. And if it's a downloadable file, you're just going to choose this one right here. Or you could create a landing page where you send them to another landing page that you create. And then you could do some upsells or extra instructions or send them to another video on one of your website pages. So we'll click preview now to make sure this all works right. Make sure it looks good. So we're going to close that box. This is for the Kajabi preview. By the way, this won't show up once visitors click your link. This is not what they're going to see. They'll see everything else except for this blue bar. So you can see the hero image. I like the headline, the subtitle, it looks good. The spacing is good. Okay. And another thing is you could customize the font too. There's a bunch of different font styles you could choose from. So you don't have to use that one. And here goes the form. So now what you want to do, now that everything's complete, you want to test the whole process because like I said, the whole point is to automate as much as you can. That way you could spend as least amount of time on this process as possible. So basically when you share the link, people will come to this page. And when they come to this page, they'll come down to this form and then they're going to input their email address. So go ahead and test it with your email address. Once you put your email in the field, click the CTA button and make sure this is supposed to send me straight to the product because I linked the URL. So once I click get the free list, it sends me straight to the Notion document that I attached the URL for. So that works. We're going to close this page. The other thing was we want to make sure that I also got the email. So we're going to go check the email now. There we go. I got the email. It looks good, just the way we designed it. So now that we got the email, we're going to double check the link again. There we go. The link works. We could close this, close the email. Now the last part to check, let's go ahead and go back. Now that this is all done, we want to make sure that this, the email that you use, basically your own email, shows up on the submissions. We're going to go back to the forms. So let's go back to landing pages. And now what we want to do, you could either look for it on the marketing, click forms, or you could go right here to your analytics, view page analytics. And the email that we use is showing up right here on the recent opt-in. Another cool thing right here is you can see all the opt-ins you have for this landing page over the last 7 days, 30 days, 3 months, 6 months, last year. So you could see the performance of this actual landing page. And that way you could kind of make adjustments or improvements based off of the analytics you got right here. This is really simple to read. It's nothing complicated. It just shows you how many people showed up to view this page, how many people actually opted in, and then it calculates your conversion rate. So this is pretty nice. It's really useful. This is another reason I love Kajabi. It makes everything so simple, keeps all your data in one place. But let's go back to landing pages now. So everything works. It records our email, sends us the email, it sends us the product, and it sends us to the link that we put on the page. So the last thing is you want to publish this page. So we're going to turn it on, and now your web page is live, or your landing page is live. So that's it. That's all you have to do to create a landing page in Kajabi.